podcast you are about to listen to contains at least one of the following: strong language, disturbing topics, abusive opinions, generally things that aren't appropriate for little kids or overly sensitive people. So, if any of that stuff's going to get your nose out of joint, this is your chance to turn it off.
It's Aaron, your favorite unfiltered mess. Spitting takes so raw, they'll make your grandma stress. Is this, that, and the other? Life, politics, the whole damn scene. Whatever crosses my mind, or whatever I saw on my screen. Woo! Movies to munchies, games to the grind. Interviews flowing, this is starting to sound like a date, ain't it? Dinner, drink, sports, wait, you buying. If not, tough luck, my opinion's still flying. No script, no filter, just pure chaos bliss. I might offend your auntie or your therapist. Society's clown show, yeah, I'm ringing the bell. If it's stupid, it's sacred, well, it had to be said, what the hell? Buckle up, buttercup, the mic's getting reckless. I had to say it. Now, pass the tissues for the trigger.
Well, I almost got the timing down on that. So, hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of I Had to Say It. So, we're going to start as we do by saying to Iceman Jason, Javier Fitzmac, El Jefe, El Devlin, El Morte, to the guys of the Weather Soul Media Group, to Kate, the Duchess of New Jersey, to Boomer Bob, to George Fonts of the World of Blaze podcast, to Billy G, to Josh from New Hampshire, to Bill and Dana at Clockham Craft Coffee, and to Lisa, the most recent addition to my supporters. Thank you guys for the continued support. You mean the world to me. It's phenomenal. I think you're smarter, better, and more fun to be around than other people, and I appreciate you just boundlessly. You are phenomenal. Thank you so much. So now that that's out of the way, a couple light pieces of spotty or intermittent, or the stream gets funky. I apologize in advance, but we can only do what we can do, and I am a poor, so the computer will be on hold until I can get this figured out. I've tried a bunch of other things, and it's just every time I think I got something figured out, I find a new problem trying to get this machine back to functional. And, yeah. So, oh, great. Cody says the mic went out of the stream. Phenomenal. That's just fantastic. Let's see. Do I have anything else open? Yeah, I just keep getting the same message. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings. Yeah, I don't know how much lower I can actually make the damn video settings. Let me see if I can humor me, folks. I apologize. If this is your first time listening to the show, I apologize dramatically, and much so that you'll just have to understand this is how this show works mostly. It's a lot of random stuff. Bob said it's back. That's great. Let's see. Buffering, color. So it's a set for auto detect. It should be doing just fine. Anyway, yeah, so point being, this computer's fucking up left, right, and center. And it's an ongoing thing. I've been working on Spice Blend stuff, so I haven't had time to worry about podcast stuff. Which, brings me to my first bit of housekeeping for anybody who is involved in that, anybody who backed my Kickstarter project. The blends will be coming out to you guys this month. I'm just waiting on a couple last little things. Like I said, stickers, labels, all that good stuff. So it should be coming along in the next couple of weeks. I mean, like I said, it may not be the final version of everything. We may refine some stuff after feedback and whatnot. But, you will be getting everything you've got coming to you, plus my undying appreciation. So there's that. But yeah, that's also why I haven't been able to get around to getting the computer beaten into submission just yet. All right, and so anyway, we're just kind of going to get into it. There's been a lot going on. It's been an interesting week. The big thing that's on my mind, I don't know if it's on everybody else's mind, but these are the kind of things that catch my attention, hold my attention, is there was another, basically, what was a mass shooting. I mean, I'm sure there was more than one, but the one that's getting the news coverage happened on Saturday in Twin Falls, Idaho, at an In-N-Out parking lot. Now, In-N-Out's a burger chain for anybody who doesn't know that, anybody that's been living under a rock. And it's a case of it was some random asshole that had a rifle, and it was one of the scary ones that all the gun grabbers automatically are, oh my God, we need to get these guns out of civilian hands and blah, 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 blah. Now, unfortunately, and the reason it held my attention, the reason I'm talking about it today is it did not spin out the way that these kind of horseshit tragedies usually happen. And I'm saying they're horseshit because anybody who perpetrates random acts of violence on defenseless individuals is a piece of shit. It's not a matter that's up for debate. You're not the main character. You're not the hero. You're not making a statement. You're a fucking failed human being. You're a piece of shit. You're a failure because you can't process your own shit in an adult, mature way. So you lash out violently because you're a low IQ fuck. I mean obviously that's just my take on the matter. The shooters' motives have not been made public. They're like, this is not a case of like them that decided to go shoot up a grade school and left a manifesto behind. This was some asshole in a parking lot with a rifle opening fire. According to cops, it was AK style rifle. We don't know the exact model or anything, but it's a case of, so he opened up on the crowd with an AK style rifle, was fired. Like I've seen, there was somebody, people, as our society is wont to do these days, there's a bunch of cell phone footage of this shit. The guy was firing into car windshields, shooting at cars, walking around just arrogant as fuck, thinking, he was the main character, whatever reason this fucking loser was out there shooting at people. I'm not going to actually say the guy's name, but he was 24, complete stroke. Again, no motive has been currently released. We don't have any information as to why this fuckbag decided to go into a fucking In-N-Out burger and start shooting the place up. But what we do know is there was another guy, a guy named Jordan Salinas, who's a 35-year-old man, was pulling into the In-N-Out parking lot. He was heading back out he was going on a horse riding date with his girlfriend, and he rolled up right around the same time the guy with the rifle started opening fire. Now, this guy Salinas is, he saw people running out before he heard the first shots, and then he dropped into like what he called an automatic and mechanical response, and he ran towards the gunman instead of everybody else because he had on a shoulder holster, had a pistol, and I believe it was actually a suppressed pistol too. But so he, instead of running away from the gunfire, he did like the hero thing. The thing, any real man should actually, I mean, none of us know how we're going to react till we're in that situation, but he went towards the danger to try and help. Now, the guy, Salinas was talking to the news, and he said that the shooter seemed really comfortable while he was shooting at people. But as soon as somebody started shooting back at him, he just fell apart, crumbled. And I guarantee it's because in the fucking retard who did this shit's mind, he was the main character. There weren't going to be any immediate consequences. Until he was done doing what he was going to do, there weren't going to be any issues. Until the cops showed up, he was going to get away with just murdering as many people as he possibly fucking could. And as soon as somebody started shooting back, he just panicked. He collapsed. He stopped shooting at people. I mean, this guy literally stopped. This could have been so much worse, and it was still bad. The shooter killed 3 people, and 7 more people are in the hospital right now. 2 are stable, 2 are in critical, and the other 3 I think were like checked out and released. I mean, 4 of them are still in the hospital right now. But anyway, there was also a off-duty police officer that was there, and the local police chief is saying between the Salinas guy and the local cop, they probably saved a lot of people's lives, and they did something heroic and engaged somebody that was out there trying to be a piece of shit and kill people that were unarmed. And based on the guy's behavior, yeah, no, in his mind, he was not expecting any kind of pushback. He thought he was going to just get away with shit because as soon as he started getting shot at by somebody else, he stopped shooting at the innocent civilians, fell back, and then wound up plugging himself because he was a fucking coward. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound because people started shooting back at him. And that's the part I want to focus on as we look at this situation, because every fucking retard out there that's, take the guns, take the guns, take the guns, will not acknowledge that two guys with guns that were good guys that were there cut this off from being so much fucking worse than it could have been. It could have been a huge, it's still a tragedy. There's still 3 dead people. There's still 7 people in the hospital. 10 people got fucking shot, 3 of them fatally. That's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but it could have been so much fucking worse. And then after, a little bit of, the internet's going to do what the internet's going to do. And so immediately everybody starts trying to figure out who's this guy that was out there shooting at the gunman. And, and I'm going to come back to this point. I've seen some really retarded takes out of leftist gun grabbing type assholes, people who want everyone disarmed, people who think, immediately make assumptions about somebody because of the fact that the guy carries a gun. And I'll be honest, looking at his gun choice, interesting choice, not something I necessarily would have been carrying, but again, that's neither here nor there. Partly because it's a very, non-normal. It's a more rarefied caliber. He was carrying a 5.7 pistol, FNN 5.7 caliber pistol, and that's what he likes. That's what he trains with. That's what he's proficient with. He didn't manage to kill the guy, but he distracted him enough to stop the guy from shooting at innocent people. So obviously it worked. And the internet did what the internet's going to do. Found out this guy had like a YouTube channel where he did some of just not a huge channel, not like a big following kind of guy. Just he put some videos out there just basically saying, go out and train like your life depends on it because someday it might, and, then, information starts coming out about this guy, other than the fact that he's, a self-defense advocate. He's also a healthcare worker and a full-time caregiver. He's got a younger brother who's disabled, like wheelchair bound. And this guy's told the local newspaper in Idaho he started his self-defense training after the 2021 shooting at the Boise Town Square Mall that left 2 people dead and 4 people injured. And because he said that shooting made him realize that gunmen go after soft targets, which is something every two-way advocate, everybody who advocates for defending yourself, carrying a firearm, people like me who say carry a fucking gun, because people that want to do bad shit are cowards and they go after targets where they don't think they're going to get any pushback. They go after soft targets. No, gun-free zones, schools, those are soft fucking targets because of the culture we live in has made them soft targets. That's where cowards go to inflict as much damage as possible before they're stopped. So he realized they go after soft targets and these are this guy's words, like people in wheelchair, his little brother. So, and the aide that takes care of his brother when he's not doing it. Oh great, did the computer lock up? Anyway, but yeah, so basically it's a case of, good guy with a gun stops bad guy with a gun. That's really the long and the short of it. Now, the big thing I've been seeing is a lot of people are out, the gun grabbers, the libtards, the fucking people who say, oh, well, he's a civilian, he shouldn't have gotten involved. Every weak-minded, beta, soy-fed, cuck shit stain on this fucking planet who's going to try and say that he was in the wrong for doing what he did and acting instead of sitting around pulling out his cell phone like a goddamn retard like the rest of societies want to do these days, pointing his phone at the thing and watching a tragedy unfold instead of actually actively trying to engage the problem and make it go away. And I've seen all kinds of people, people talking shit about his loadout, people saying, why would you carry something like that? People saying things that are just, utterly fucking retarded, trying to tear this guy down when he literally averted what could have been so much worse of a tragedy. They won't even acknowledge the shitty part of the situation. Instead, they want to talk shit about the guy who actually intervened to do something about it. Oh, well, he's not a cop. He shouldn't have intervened. And I've said this before. I'm going to say it again because it still feels relevant. It still feels pertinent. when seconds matter, the cops are fucking minutes away. The police are not a proactive force. The police are a reactionary force. And unfortunately, in today's society, they don't even really function as a deterrent in like big cities and shitty blue strongholds, because they've been hamstrung where the criminals aren't afraid of the cops. They aren't afraid of getting arrested. They aren't afraid of going to jail because they know they're not going to stay there. They know there's no real consequences for their fucking issues. And it becomes a whole case of you're making yourself a fucking victim. And there is such a massive amount of people out there who seem to think that's the right order of the world. These like weak-minded statist motherfuckers who want to say, well, you shouldn't be doing that because it's not your responsibility. You're making everybody more dangerous if you're walking around carrying a gun, and then all of a sudden a gunman comes out. You should just hide and wait for the police. Are you fucking retarded? It's like I said, it's weak-minded mentality. It's like, help me, nanny state, daddy government, come make me better. Change my diaper, wipe my ass, feed my face, and then put me to bed. These fucking soft-headed retards just... It's infuriating to me for so many fucking reasons that we have people out there who want to try and villainize somebody who literally saved people's fucking lives, and they want to demonize him. They want to make fun of the fact that he released videos about training and doing drills like shooting from inside the back of a car and things like that. And yes, I watched a couple of them. Some of them are a little fucking hokey. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, where's the practicality of that? But on the other hand, like I said, this guy trained to the point where it was a reaction. When he saw there was danger, he walked towards it. He didn't run away from it. And then we get like people trying to watch like there's cell phone footage because of course there fucking is. People watching the cell phone footage where after he squeezed off the first few rounds that distracted the gunman, they're like, well, after he fired, he ran away. No, he didn't. He dove for cover because apparently these fucking retards think reality works like the movies, where if you're the good guy, you stand there and you just shoot at the bad guys and everything they throw back at you is going to fucking miss because, main character syndrome. I mean, there's literally no good reason to not go for cover once you've fucking made this guy stop engaging and you've swung his attention around. Well, he's swinging the barrel towards you. That's the perfect time to dive for fucking cover. And you got these fucking armchair quarterback assholes like, oh, well, he ran away. He's a fucking coward because he ran away instead of standing upright and treating it like a duel in the 18 fucking hundreds where they stood there and took shots at you. I mean, just the most soft-headed fucking critiques of this guy's actions from people who I guarantee would have either shit themselves, pissed themselves, or just, hid and pulled out their fucking cell phones like the fucking mouth-breathing fucking watchers that they are. Bunch of worthless fucking societal cucks who, instead of being involved in something when it's actually important, they sit back and they watch. They pull out their goddamn phones. They pull out their goddamn arrogance, and they fucking try and critique shit that they wouldn't have had the fucking stones to do. And, yes, Cody, it is kind of like the fucking people, like Sleepy said, aim for the hand, shoot to disarm. That shit is movie bullshit. That's not realistic. There's a reason that they, professionals are aiming for center mass. There's it's so infuriating. People say stupid shit. Oh, well, why don't you shoot him in the leg? You know something? You're actually just as likely to kill somebody shooting him in the fucking leg as you are shooting him center mass. Because there are major fucking arteries in both of your fucking legs. They're called the femoral arteries. You nick one of those bitches, you bleed out in like a minute and 15 seconds, give or take. Which is another thing, by the way, everybody should have first aid kits in your vehicles. I mean, if you're not going to carry one on your person, I know they're big, they're awkward, they're ungainly. Get a first aid kit, keep it in your fucking car. Get a trauma kit though. Don't just get a little, Cub Scout camping first aid kit. Get a trauma kit. Get one that comes with a couple of tourniquets. Buy extra tourniquets. Get one that comes with an Israeli bandage. That's called an Israeli bandage because it was developed by the Israeli military. It's you can use it to secure limbs. It's a very versatile piece of fucking cloth in a sanitary wrapper that is good to have in case of emergencies. And so, these are just things, there was a time where people would say, oh, well, why are you carrying this shit? Are you paranoid? No, because shit happens, and waiting for somebody else to come save you is how you wind up a fucking statistic. It doesn't even have to be violent shit. You could get in a car accident. I almost got run off the fucking road today. It's a case of, if you are not slightly prepared, bad shit could happen, and you could be dead because of it. we've got to start acknowledging the realities of the world we live in, and one of those realities is nobody's coming to fucking save you. It's a case of just being realistic. It's a case of the world is a fucking brutal place, despite all the fucking rainbows, hugs, and fucking, stuffed bears that people seem to think we should be treating every fucking problem in the world with. Acceptance and tolerance and understanding and kindness and inclusion, and fucking telling people that can't accomplish shit on their own that they're still good enough, despite all the evidence to the fucking contrary. All the fucking horse that is absolutely. I should have been not paying attention, but again, I'm going to allow myself to be distracted by the chat here. Cody asked me who almost ran me off the road. Was it a 7-Eleven or a 9-11? No, I think it was a Somali. It was not like, despite the fact that I drive an SUV technically, it was not a CDL situation. It was not a semi truck. Or I should say, they weren't hauling a trailer. It was just a semi truck. It was just the front half. No trailer, no hauling. And it was, we're in construction. I just think the guy wasn't fucking paying attention, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think it was necessarily a foreigner that didn't understand what was going on. I think it's because it was 6 o'clock in the fucking morning and the traffic pattern had changed, and I think the guy was probably sleeping and still on autopilot. So, but anyway, so back to what I was saying. So we are in a situation, the world sucks, the world's going crazy. There's a lot of dumb shit going on, which is going to actually, this is all big overarching theory today here, where I'm going to say some shit that I'm genuinely thinking. And there's, we're still having a lot of the same issues that have been ongoing. It's again, I feel like I'm getting repetitive. I'm saying the same shit over and over again, but the same problems are still fucking here day to day to day to day to day. And one of the big problems we're having right now is, all the contested voter issues going on with the federal government and states refusing to fucking hand over their voter rolls, and the federal government cutting off aid to those states because they're not being compliant, because they don't want to hand over their voter rolls, because it's all Democrat states doing it. And granted, a huge portion of it's probably they just don't want to, deal with Trump. But the other part of it is they're fucking cheating, and they fucking know it. There's been, we have personal evidence of at my own home, ballots showed up for people who never fucking lived here. And I guarantee it's not like, oh, well, maybe it was the previous residents. Durka, durka, durka. No, because this house was built by my in-laws. Nobody's ever fucking lived here except for the people who live here now. The house did not exist prior to that. So it couldn't have been previous residents at that location. It was legitimate bullshit ballots mailed to our house, and then some random ass fucking Buick drove by our mailbox for like 3 days in a row. And we can't actually prove that they were in our mailbox, because it's the way our mailboxes are set up here. They're not on the house; they're out on the street, a little bit down the street from our actual house. And they're all the mailboxes are on one side of the road. So the guy just pulled over to that side of the road, driver's side, on the wrong side of the road, stopped in front of the mailboxes. The initial assumption, the first day I saw him, I just assumed he was sticking a fucking package in there, because sometimes they do that. Instead of actually going to the houses, they'll just stuff the package in the mailbox. But when the car came back the second day, I was starting to get a little suspicious. Can't prove anything. Don't have, what am I going to do? Have a picture of a car stopping in the street? Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of evidence that fraud's going on. And nobody would believe me anyway, even if they're one of the people that want to say voter fraud isn't happening and mail voting secure. I could show them a picture of a guy rifling around through my fucking mailbox from the inside, and they would still say it's bullshit. So I'm not getting overly concerned about it. It is what it is. Unfortunate circumstances are still circumstances, but anyway, so the mail-in ballot thing is still becoming an issue. They're finding more and more fraud and invalid names on voter registrations and places where they're looking. Abigail's Spanberger came out and said that, well, they found a couple thousand illegals that were registered to vote through the DMV, blamed it on a software glitch. Software company said, fuck you, it's not us. You still have to approve who winds up on the voter rolls. It's not automatic. Don't blame us. And it turns out of those 10,000 illegals or whatever it was, or 4,000, like 400 of them actually voted. Now, people are trying to say that's not a big deal. Oh, it's just a little illegal voting. And of course, this is the whole point. The thing that never happened happens. And the people that want to deny it say, well, it's not that big a deal. It's only 400 votes, blah, 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 blah. And we've had multiple elections in multiple states and multiple counties and multiple seats for multiple positions that were decided by less than 500 votes. At the end of the day, yeah, those 400 voters that they admit to being on there illegally and being non-citizens that voted in our elections, it's enough to move the needle on some elections. It's not like, first off, one is too fucking many, but 400 is, like I said, it's not insignificant. It's a number to decide, primaries, local elections. It's enough to decide stuff in state elections. It's enough to decide things in Senate seats and congressional seats. It's not the nothing burger people keep trying to make it out to be when they're screaming that passing the SAVE Act would be voter suppression. It's how they want to stop women and married people and black people from voting because they can't get IDs. And I don't understand how anybody can use that argument and not understand how fucking degrading and insulting that is, to tell people they are too fucking stupid to go out and get a piece of identification, to tell people they are too poor to go out and get a fucking piece of identification, to tell people that they are too just ignorant, and again, telling women they're too dumb to get the proper ID after they get married or after they get divorced, telling people that well, you're too poor to go get to go get a driver's license. That's why we still need to have insecured voting. That's why we still need to have mail-in ballots, because any single person that wants to argue that mail-in voting is secure, I'll make you a deal. Take $500 in cash, put it in an envelope, mail it to me. If it shows up, I'll give it back to you. I'm willing to bet I'm not going to have to spend a lot of money on return postage. And so the whole mail-in voting ballot shit. I mean, it's really coincidental that every time some 3 a.m. dump of votes comes in, they always go one way, and it's always fucking Democrat. I mean, which of course are the people harping loudest about not getting rid of mail-in voting, about not having voter ID, about not having secure elections, because dead fucks and illegals apparently can't prove they have a right to vote, and that's a huge problem for most Democrats. I mean, I honestly believe that if we had secure elections, the Democrats would probably never win another fucking election on a national scale. They might still control some state governments, some local governments, but because there's no shortage of dumb motherfuckers in this world. That's one thing I firmly believe. However, I also believe a lot of those dumb motherfuckers that are, pro rah-rah commie leftist bullshit are also too apathetic and lazy to actually get off their asses and go do anything about it. They just sit back, count on the system working in their favor, and then collect the benefits. And that's, it's not a local thing. That's across the fucking country. I mean, there's plenty of liberal retards in Illinois that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis that are, just lazy, entitled fuckstains, or else they're well-intended retards who seem to think like J.B. Pritzker is doing a great job, or, well, I think he's a likable individual. I've met the prick in person. There's nothing fucking likable about him. He's an arrogant, mouthy, narcissistic sack of fuck. And honestly, I guarantee he doesn't remember ever meeting me, even though I like to joke about the fact that I've been audited like 3 times in the last 3 fucking years. It's a case of, it's not like a serious audit, because I don't make enough money for it to be a serious audit. It's like, hey, according to our records, you didn't pay your state taxes. Yes, I did. Here's the proof. Oh, well, sorry for the inconvenience, but it's happening a little too regularly for me to chalk it up as just being a thing. But again, that's neither here nor there. It's not like I haven't done plenty to piss the state off over the years, but that's, again, I'm not one of these people who's sitting there going like, oh, well, I think he's a likable guy. No, he's not. He's a fucking twat. And I'm saying that as somebody who's met him before he ever ran for fucking governor. But he was a piece of shit then, and I don't believe he's changed. He's probably still a piece of shit now. Actually, I know he's still a piece of shit now. But again, I digress. It's not the fucking point. It's not just here. It's a case of, it's across the nation. And then, which brings me to something else that's actually kind of funny. We got Zoran Mandami, the Kami Mandami out in New York City, the failed experiment that is socialism in a major city in America. And remember those those state-sponsored grocery stores I was talking about last week, where this dumb cocksucker is going to say, "Well, we're going to mark things under 30% under retail, and people are going to be able to buy that and have affordable food because." Once again, fiscally illiterate, silver spoon piece of shit doesn't understand basic economics, is going to drive every functional grocery store in the city out of fucking business because nobody's going to go there because they're going to be going to the poor people grocery stores. And then eventually all those stores are going to close. There's not going to be any tax revenue to subsidize the fucking commie grocery stores. And they're going to be pieces of shit too. Well, this motherfucker has come out after, repeatedly going on about how getting ID is racist and bigoted and it's prejudicial and people are too dumb to get their IDs. He's now insisting that if you want to use one of these city-sponsored grocery stores, you're going to have ID to prove you're from a shitty part of town to get into these stores. So apparently, according to their doctrine now, Zoran Mondami wants people to starve because he's expecting them to show ID proving they're New York City's residents that live in shitty neighborhoods that have a right to have access to these subsidized groceries. If you're from Manhattan or any of the nice neighborhoods in New York, you're not going to be able to go buy shitty state-sponsored groceries. You're going to have to use your bourgeoisie money to go out and buy normal groceries like a normal person. The only problem is you're going to be having to DoorDash them in from fucking Jersey because like I said, all the regular mom and pop shops in New York are going to fucking fold. It's like I said, I mean, part of me just doesn't even feel bad about it. It's like, you know what? I feel bad for the fucking dirt poor motherfuckers that are stuck there and can't leave, because I can understand being dirt poor in a state that fucking hates you and being stuck there, surrounded by idiots who will believe anything that they're fed, that will make your life substantially worse through their fucking brain dead voting because, their petty jealousy allows them to go, hey, that guy has something I don't have and that's not fair. The state should take it away from him and make him share it with me because then that would be fair. I shouldn't have to go out and earn shit. I should just get what I fucking want because I'm a brain dead fucking mouth breathing commie fucking retard. But it's neither here nor there. Like I said, there's no shortage of motherfuckers like that in Illinois, but there's also no shortage of fucking smooth-brained, overly sympathetic, like best of intentions, like definite road to hell type people. They're paved with their good intentions that they're going to make the world a better place for all these poor, fucked upon, shit upon, just sub them people that they have to go out and, they don't know what's good for them. So we have to tell them what's good for them. And we have to make the government give them what they need because they can't go out and get it on their fucking own. Because obviously they're just too lazy and stupid to do it. I mean, again, it falls under that the racism of low expectations thing that I feel so many liberals are actually so fucking guilty of. But they won't fucking acknowledge it. They won't realize it. And most of them don't fucking see it. They legitimately think they're the fucking good guys. Just like the fucking shooter in Iowa thought he was the fucking main character, right up to the point where the real main character showed up and started throwing lead at him. But it's a case of the just fucking suicidal empathy that's coming out of these fucking retards is literally the biggest threat to this fucking country. And I'm at a point where I'm not afraid to say it anymore. Let's be honest. I've never been afraid to say it. Who we kidding? Unless we have a new watcher here or there, you guys know I've never had any qualms about saying exactly where I feel about certain fucking things. And, yeah, it's these brain dead leftist retards will be the death of this fucking country, if anything is. The suicidal empathy, the open borders for fucking people hostile to our way of life, the fucking need to give aid and succor to people who would see you fail and die. It's the things I don't understand. The mentality of the fucking alphabet mafia who wants to go out there and be like pro-Palestine and pro-fucking Hamas and they're pro-Islam because Islamists hate the same people they hate, so obviously they must be on the same side, not realizing that most leftist retards in this country, should the Islamists take power, will be the first ones up against the fucking wall because everything about their lifestyle is an abomination to the fucking religious whack jobs that you're bringing into the equation. It's a nicety that is lost on these people because none of them have any critical thinking. They all think they're smarter than they are because, oh, well, I went to college and I got a degree in lesbian interpretive dance. So obviously I understand the ins and outs of the world, and I understand these guys who are constantly saying that, laying with another man is an abomination, but fucking a goat is okay. the mentality behind this shit is obviously they're just working through some trauma, and the more we embrace them and show we support them, obviously they will reciprocate our love and unconditional acceptance, because they hate capitalist, white Christian people too. So, and I'm not saying they only exclusively hate white Christian people. I'm saying that's what the fucking leftist retards seem to have the biggest problem with: capitalists and people who think there's something out there greater than themselves. These absolutely just vapid wastes of fucking flesh that are out there taking up space, and it's frustrating, to say the least. On the other hand, again, I spend too much time on the internet because where else am I going to get shit to bitch about? But I've seen, little stories and blurbs of people that are, these, once again, these self-important leftist fucking retards that are socialists and communists and the DSA supporters. And they don't even understand why the working class in America isn't on their fucking side. Why the average guy that's going out punching a clock and working himself to death 60 hours a week to support his family and buy things for his family, these fucking college-educated, smooth-brained, slack-jawed jagoffs don't understand that the guy that's out there working himself to death to support his family doesn't give a nickel-plated fuck about your self-important ideals, that you should only be able to, work as much as you feel like it, and then you should be able to have whatever you want, because that's how the world should be. That's this utopian fucking communist paradise where everyone gives according to their abilities, and what it determines their abilities is how they feel at any given time. Not the reality of what you're going to give is going to be determined by the powers that be when you are a fucking, serf class. But these fucking retards don't fucking get it. They have their fucking heads so far up their fucking asses that they can actually see what they had for fucking lunch. It's ridiculous that these mouth-breathing sacks of fuck that think they're better than me and you come along and just, I don't want to have to work in the real world. That's one of the biggest problems I have with, I've given up on trying to reach out to people like that. I've given up on trying to have dialogue with that, trying to find common ground. It should be a case of we can, sit down and talk and work things through. But when you have people who respond to every logical argument in every case of facts with emotional responses, with an emotional outbursts, because developmentally they're fucking toddlers. They may be 25, 30 years old, but fundamentally they have the maturity of a fucking kindergartner, and their response to everything is emotional because they lack critical thinking, because they were never forced to learn critical thinking. It was a bunch of fucking mouth-breathing retards who think ideology is everything and reality should bend to their fucking will because that's what's fair and that's what's right. Not that they have to go out and actually fucking do anything to get what they want from life, but just that it should be handed to them, because these self-important sacks of fucks seem to think that anything they want is a right and everything they have a problem with is a fucking threat or it's a conspiracy. Again, it's weak-minded, it's soft-headed. It's a case of you never actually had to do anything with your real life. You're probably coddled and fucking sheltered by your parents. You're living on mom and dad's dime, even though you're a fucking parasite. And, oh, well, I moved to the city to be independent. I voted for Zoran Mandami because we're going to usher in a utopian. We're finally... This time socialism is going to work because we're going to do it right this time. No, it's not going to work because it never fucking works because you're fucking stupid. People that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it, and unfortunately people who do learn from history are doomed to be dragged down by the fucking mouth-breathing sacks of fuck who don't listen. It's frustrating, to say the least. Anybody and everyone who's ever listened to the show knows I can't stand these self-important sacks of fuck. I can't stand their suicidal empathy. I can't stand the ideas that they're going to welcome in people that would see them dead because they refuse to believe that reality is what reality is. And since the people that would see them dead would also see the people they hate dead, obviously that's what makes them your friends. The enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. Only what they don't understand is the enemy of their enemy is also their fucking enemy. These people don't have friends. They have people that agree with their fucking cult, and they have people that don't. And you get these fucking, which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. There's been a couple cases of Islamist areas in the United States here where they've been overwhelmingly, like that, Dearborn, Michigan, and a couple other places where they're trying to set up Islamist states. And they've gotten to the point, right now they're at about 2% of the population. And that seems to be enough where they've gone from the like play the victim card until you have enough people to start demanding, you know, subservience and demanding people acquiesce to your bullshit. And unfortunately, we have about half of this country right now is willing to do that because they're fucking stupid. Whereas, oh, well, no, we have to accommodate them. Otherwise, they'll think we're bigoted or phobic. Who gives a fuck? And it goes back again, once again, to what I say over and over again. Why do you care about the opinions of people who you shouldn't respect? But it's, and yes, yes, Cody, they're the majority in Dearborn itself. But I'm saying they're about 2% of the country at the moment. And they are now actively like trying to stone people in public that are speaking out against their goat fucking Islamist fucking ways. The people who are out there saying this is America, whether you fucking like it or not, and they're starting to react with violence because again, low IQ, low thought process, low tier motherfuckers behave in such a manner. And when you're following a cult that was founded by a pedophile warlord, you're not going to be good people. You're not going to say anything to convince me that to the contrary. And it is what it is. The more we let these things take root, the worse it's going to get. And honestly, if we were in a slightly different position, like say anybody in Europe that's had a disarmed population, we'd be fucked. I honestly believe the only thing that's keeping things from getting worse right now is the fact that there are enough good old boys around here where if shit pops off, they're waiting for an excuse. And, and once it happens, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be brutal. But for the time being, at least, yeah, there may be, 10 million fucking illegals in this country right now. There may be 100 million illegals in the country. Who fucking knows? They're not documented. They're illegal. We don't have an exact number. But at some point, you unleash the rednecks, things are going to get messy really fucking quick. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not enthusiastic about it, but I really feel like that we're at the point where that's what it's going to take. Unless somebody in the fucking government nuts up and says, you guys are all antithetical to American values, you need to either assimilate or get the fuck out. And actually, in a slightly local thing, over the weekend, same day as the shooter was shooting at the In-N-Out Burger, earlier that morning, Saturday morning, about 1:30 in the morning, excuse me, a person with a squiggly name, I forget, I don't think it was Muhammad, but it was something to that effect. I already forgot the guy's name, and unfortunately I can't open multiple tabs on this computer, so I can't look it up real quick. But there was a guy caught in Mokina, which is a suburb of Chicago. It's a little north east of me. He was on the street, walking the streets at like 1:30 in the morning. The cops, walking down the middle of the road. He had a backpack and a blanket, and the cops went to talk to him, and he gave him a false name, and then so the cops detained him for a few minutes while they were running his information and saying, "Hey, what are you doing walking down the middle of the street at fucking at 1:30 in the morning? You're not supposed to be doing that." And he kind of copped a little bit of an attitude, gave him a fake name. They ran the name, came back fake. They detained the guy, and he had a backpack full of 24 fucking Molotov cocktails, and he was off to go commit some shenanigans. This guy was a literal terrorist with a terrorist Durka name, and so good on the Mokina cops for catching him walking down the middle of the road in the middle of the night with a backpack full of fucking Molotov cocktails, because who knows what he was going to get up to. It was definitely not good, and good on the cops for catching him. I'm glad we didn't have a tragedy local, adjacent to me. So that's a good thing. So anyway, that's really about all I got rolling around in my head at the moment. I've actually got a bit of a headache. I've been feeling kind of out of whack all day today. So I'm going to read a recipe to y'all, and while I'm reading the recipe, if anybody's got anything they want to say in the chat, feel free to bring it up, and I will try and address it. Since I don't have all my cookbooks here with me at the moment. I don't think I've done this one before. This is a recipe I actually got from a former boss of mine. It's a really good recipe though. It's for a quick kimchi. Now, if you don't know what kimchi is Napa cabbage that's been, like aged and fermented, and it's actually one of my favorite little condiment type things because everybody knows I love Asian food. As I've said repeatedly, I don't have anything against foreigners as long as they come here the right way and they assimilate and don't expect me to fucking live according to their third world horseshit culture. We'll get along just fine. I'll eat your delicious food. I will learn how to make it myself and enjoy it. But now we've got a quick kimchi recipe. Now this is something my boss taught me how to make because we needed it for a function. And it was really good. So I made a point of writing it down so I could make it again when I wanted to have kimchi and I didn't feel like fermenting it for weeks. This really, it still takes about a day and a half, 2 days to get done properly. But it's a lot faster than doing kimchi the traditional way. And so anyway, you're going to need about a quarter cup of water, 1.5 tablespoons of sea salt, a pound of Napa cabbage, 2 tablespoons of gochujang chili paste, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 3 green onions sliced up, and 1 small carrot stripped into julienne strips, which is little tiny like matchstick carrots, So what you're going to do is you're going to take your cabbage and you're going to shred it up. And then you're going to take that shredded cabbage and you're going to mix up the water and the salt and you're going to coat the cabbage in the salt water. And you're going to soak it for about an hour, right? Now, while that's soaking, you're going to combine all the rest of the ingredients and you're going to mix it up into a paste, right? So you got the gochujang, the sugar, the fish sauce, the minced garlic, the sliced up onions, the carrots, right? So you're going to mix all that stuff together. And then you're going to take your cabbage and you're going to drain all the liquid off of it. Now, the salt water is actually going to draw a little liquid out of the cabbage too and kind of denaturalize it and make it kind of mushy. Well, not mushy, but softer. So you're going to drain all that, all the water off the cabbage, but you don't need to rinse it because you still want to have a little salt in it. But if you want it to be less sodium, you can actually rinse it off too. But for the sake of doing it right, you should just drain it, get rid of the water. And then you toss that with your paste, with the carrots and the green onions and all the other stuff. And you're going to mix it up so it's all real thoroughly coated. And it's going to be this like reddish, brownish pile of vegetables. And you're going to put it in the fridge. And you want it to sit for at least 4 hours to anywhere up to a week before you eat it. And the longer you let it sit, the better it's going to taste. It is delicious. And yeah, I really like it, especially if you've got a head of Napa cabbage going around because you made egg rolls or something, you still got half a head of cabbage left. It's a good thing to do with it, or you can make Asian slaw with it or whatever, but it's neither here nor there. So let's see. Now, while I was talking in the chat, Shauna says, where in Mokina? I don't know where. McShane of Razorwire News, Steve McShane, good friend of the show, says, what church was he going to burn? No idea. The press release I saw was very limited information because it's Illinois and they can't make a brown man look bad. It goes against their general beliefs, but they did actually acknowledge the fact that the cops grabbed a guy with a bag full of fucking Molotovs. I'm surprised they didn't try it. Actually, if I pulled up his booking paper, he's probably listed as white because that's how it fucking works. Kilo, can you message me for the kimchi recipe? For sure. Feel free, shoot me a DM. I'll get that to you. And I actually, suck on that, JD. I just saw a comment from the X feed, so that's kind of a first, but it does happen occasionally. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'll shoot that to you after I get done here. I'll type it all out and pop it up for you. I was trying to put it in the show notes, but I got lazy about it. And I actually have a page on the website at ihadtosayitpodcast.com where you can go and find assorted recipes that I've done from the show. But that is also very behind date because, again, lazy, a lot of other shit going on. Trying to get the spice business off the ground, trying to get my computer fixed, job hunting, finding a job, having a job now that I work full time at, doing consulting on the side, trying to keep extra money coming in, trying to offset all the hole I got in being laid off. Drama, bullshit. Point is, Aaron's a real busy guy, and unfortunately, in the hierarchy of needs, the podcast usually is the redheaded stepchild, where the things I need to be doing so I could properly deliver to you guys usually winds up on the back burner, but I will happily send you that recipe in a DM after I get done with the show. So Let's see. Cody says he's sure people probably like this, but he's not a fan of fermented cabbage. Well, that's fine. I mean, people aren't. Some people are. Some people aren't. Some people like sauerkraut. Some people hate sauerkraut. Some people, I mean, it is what it is. You can't please everybody all the time. I'll let you use your 2% share to vote that we don't ever make this a product. How about that? So other than that, I'm going to give it a couple more seconds in the chat, and I think I'm probably going to stick a pin in it unless anybody else has anything they want me to touch on or anything they think I missed. But I mean, obviously, I know I've missed a lot of things. It's a crazy world out there. There's new stuff happening every day. There's yes, Cody also hates sauerkraut. Does not surprise me at all. In a side note, once again, I do have every intention of starting to try and get more guest episodes rolling out. I've got a few guys lined up, like tentatively. We haven't actually set up any dates yet. Where, Cody, you're not using all 3% for the vote. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to be trying to get some new guests on the show here coming up. Probably starting in like 2 weeks, give or take. I mean, it's probably going to have to wait till I get everybody's Kickstarter packages in the mail, because obviously that is my first priority, making sure the people who supported my attempt to try and start a business get what they got coming to them. So it's going to be a case of that's the priority. But once that's done, I got a couple guys like AGA, American Gunslinger Association guys that, again, similar-minded small business guys, Second Amendment supporters. Just a couple guys from that group said they wanted to come on, so I'm going to try and get them on here for some guest spots. I'm going to be doing some more stuff with my buddy JD, the bot guy. I'm still trying to land a few other people. I'm still ignoring everybody that reaches out to me to try and solicit appointments through my email for the podcast, because for some odd reason I keep getting all these people who, if they listen to the show for more than 3 seconds, would know I'm probably going to eat them fucking alive or try and make them cry if we sit down and talk, because I keep getting like leftist political people for some fucking reason. Oh, hey, I've got a book coming out talking about all my experience working for Liz Warren. Liz Warren should be fucking sodomized with a cactus. Why the fuck would you want to come on my show to talk to me about your time working with that vapid cunt? Yes, Cody, you did volunteer as a guest and tribute. I understand that, but that's that will also be, again, down the line. I gotta get the spices done, brother. We're working on it. Like I said, I have the recipes, I have the product, I don't have the packaging, and the packaging actually will not be that bad. I have the packaging, I don't have the labeling. The labeling is the bitch. So it'll be a thing, and. No, I don't need to have those people on. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should try and make them cry, but I have the feel. No, the Kilo, yes, the Idaho shooter, he self-deleted. He popped it. He took the coward's route out. He was getting shot at by, I think, one of the, because there was an off-duty officer and God, why I'm so bad at names. What was the guy's name? Jordan Salinas, the guy who everybody saw with the pictures with the boonie hat and the suppressed FN. I think he winged him, but he was still mobile, and he wound up plugging himself at the end of the standoff. Basically, he fell back once they started shooting at him, and punched his own ticket. So. So anyway, other than that, like I said, I think that's about all I got. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being active in the chat. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for coming back. If this is not your first time here, if it is your first time here, thank you for checking me out. I hope I wasn't too much of a frustration or a disappointment. If you're checking out this in the audio, I apologize for the fact that it's going to once again go up raw, because this machine will not handle the editing software. So until I get the other computer fixed, this is what you guys get. And thank you guys for everything. I appreciate all of you. And for now, that's what I had to say.